I call Jenny Salisa.
Thank you, Mr Chair. There are a number of issues I'd like to talk about in this estimates debate on education, but let me begin with charter schools. I have particular concerns about the approach and funding that this government has around charter schools. We have, on estimate at the moment, this government has spent around about $44 million on charter schools to date, and in this year's budget, at least $11.8 million will be invested or spent in new charter schools. This, despite the fact that this model is a failed model. This is a model where, as we've seen with Whangaruru Charter School, it is a model that has failed there, so much so that they actually closed the school. The taxpayers of this country, New Zealand, we have invested $5.5 million in Whangaruru Charter School, and it's closed down, and yet this government and this budget is going to expand it even more. Charter schools, as we know, is targeted at Māori and Pacific students. So can I just address Māori and Pacific students, but in particular Pacific students in my electorate in Manukau East and South Auckland? I just heard the Honourable Minister of Education talking about how this is a government that actually assists and it is really, really successful with Pacific and Māori children. But and talking about real families and real students. But can I just say, from the families that I see in my office, if I can give a couple of examples. Just last week, we had a family referred to us from a school, a social worker in a school. They have 6 kids. They lived in a garage. This garage was leaking. The day that I visited this family, because they had no car to authorise me to assist them so that they would get into a house, it was raining. It was a day when it was really also very windy, a very cold day. 3 of her children were at home. 3 out of 6 were at home sick. And this mother said that her kids are healthy kids, apart from the fact that since they've been living in this garage in South Auckland, her kids have been sick. Honourable Minister, we deal with so many children who live in garages, so many children who live in cars. The issue of transients is an issue that we deal with in South Auckland on a daily basis. One of the schools, the largest primary school, I'm told, which is in South Auckland, over 1,000 children, 57% of their children are not there at the end of the year in December because they are transient. Now, the definition, the official definition for transients is students that move school twice or more over a period from between 1st of March until the end of November. We have other schools that have even higher transients levels than that. And what I know from the children that I see who are transient, another example, a mother with 2 teenage boys. She has been living in her car for over 6 months. But since that time, she has not enrolled her sons in a school. Why? Because she has moved so often. She's moved from Hamilton to Tauranga, Bay of Plenty, back to Auckland. She has moved so many times. She is not able to find private rental or indeed a state house. And her 2 sons, who are teenagers, have not been in a school that whole time. So when we hear the government talking about how this is a wonderful government that is doing so much for Māori and Pacific children, it is not doing enough for the thousands of Māori and Pacific children who are homeless. We know from Otago University that there are at least, this is 2013 statistics, 41,000 who are homeless. In counties Manukau, in my area, counties Manukau DHB tell me that there are at least 110,000 people who are living in overcrowded conditions. Now, we know that when people live in overcrowded conditions, they do not have the space to be able to do their homework. They are admitted in and out of hospitals a lot, and these families are transient. So, Honourable Minister, there are a lot of consequences when our children are homeless. One of the weeks that our Labour MPs went to visit Te Puea Marae, a marae that has served over 160 families who are homeless. The week that our Labour MPs visited Te Puea Marae, they were told that at least about half of the children that are there at that week were actually children that were not even enrolled in school. Half of those children. So there are various... Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I call Stuart Smith.